My name is Devan Shah. I'm Head of Business Development at Broadway Group of Companies. This includes both Broadway Bakery and Beckex Millers. Broadway Bakery started in 1958 as a small bakery in Thika town. It was started by my grandfather and his brothers. In the late 1970s, we then moved to this present location and started the first fully automated bread plant. Since then, over the years, we've had multiple different plants. Initially starting off with British plants, and then we moved to German plants, and now we also have some Dutch plants. We've been in this location since the late 1970s, and we've also recently expanded and purchased the land next to us to basically increase our capacity and increase the size of the facility.
Yeah. Well, when we were walking around, we got a chance to taste your bread. And it's also bread we consume on a day-to-day basis. And the one thing that is consistent is the taste. And I think consumers knowing that they can always count on that taste and maybe the ingredients that come as part of that bread is important. How do you come to that decision of saying we're going to be consistent in the product that we put out to the market?
I think from the start, consistency has been very key for us. Consistency and quality. As our tag says, heritage of quality, we ensure that the quality of every single loaf that is produced by us is to the utmost level. We have very regular testing for quality control as well. And we just make sure that we don't put in any additives, any preservatives. The bread is as fresh as it is. We're making bread, we're not making cake at the end of the day.
Okay. I think as a product that people consume or interact with as the first FMCG product in most households, it's important to have that promise, but also understanding that you're touching more lives than a normal person would actually acknowledge. How do you then balance out what it is that you put into the market and consistently having that thought process of we have a presence in people's homes and this is what we're going to stand for?
Well, I think for us, we are a heritage brand. We've been here since 1958. We have loyal customers that have been with us over generation and generation, families that have grown up eating our bread. Yeah. So for us, it's now, really looking at the next generation. How do we make sure that their parents pass on that this is our bread, this is our family bread, and how do we make sure that they basically continue eating our bread and making sure it's tailored towards them. We haven't really changed our recipe is the same, but it's now sort of creating different opportunities for them to taste the bread and also using different products as well. That would be more appealing to younger generation.
Okay, and that is from a consumer perspective, but I've also noticed that you have a lot of people who work at Broadways. How do you intentionally say, in as much as we're going to ensure that we have the same recipe, the same product, and keep the same consumer promise, we're also going to put ourselves in a position where we are giving other people opportunities to earn a living besides just the daily bread?
For us, I think we employ over 1,000 people between both companies. We employ people that are also visually impaired and handicapped as well. But it's the culture. We have a very strong culture here. We have employees that have been working with us for 30, 40 years. And it's a family. It's a very family feel, even though we're such a sizable organization. It's still a very family feel, and the directors are on site 7 days a week. Their doors are open anytime, and they assist in every single way, whether it's a family situation that an employee has, whether it's a sort of a personal matter. They're always there to assist in wherever and however they can.
The last three questions are more data driven. Right now, the trending phrase is Gen Z, and definitely the taste is different. As a company, how have you been able to kind of keep up with the changing taste of the Kenyan consumer?
I think for us, it's about listening. As I said, we don't really alter our recipe that much, but we did create, a few years ago, we created a 50-50 bread, which is a mixture of both brown and white flour in every single slice. And that was basically, again, tailored towards the younger generation, because we know the younger generation don't particularly like the taste of brown bread.
Yes.
But if you can give them the benefits and the nutrients of brown bread, but with the taste of white bread, that's a game changer for them. So we did introduce a bread like that. And I think obviously younger people are a lot more health conscious. so obviously tailoring more towards brown bread.
Yeah.
Our white bread does also, and it always has had very little sugar. All our bread actually has very little sugar.
Okay.
And it's something that we pride ourselves on, is not to add too many things or anything additive, any preservatives, little sugar, little salt, just to make it taste good,
Yes.
but still be healthy.
Okay. Today, many businesses are leveraging consumer data insights to make decisions. And even like you're saying, with the new generation, maybe they don't like the taste of brown bread. And so that goes back to data. So how do you incorporate those kind of strategies so that you just make sure that whatever you're listening to is not misinforming you in the decisions that you're making?
I think for us, a lot of it is on social media. We do interact with all our consumers. We do get insights from them.
Yeah.
We do listen to and look at the different comments that are taking place. We do a lot of competitor analysis as well, following what people are saying about our competitors. We do a lot of road shows on the ground. So when we're on the ground, we do speak to our consumers and ask them, what are your challenges? What do you want to see in a loaf of bread? And that's how we get all our information. Is through those channels.
Okay. The Kenyan consumer market is constantly evolving. What role would you say then that technology plays in this, and also like the customer understanding in playing into the bigger Broadway's future vision?
I think technology is very important. I mean, everybody now has a smartphone. Everybody has access to social media. Everyone has access to the internet. So technology is really important for us to both interact with our consumers as well as learn from them, and also get out messages that we would like to get out. For us, we are very strong on marketing as well, and through technology, I think that's a way that we can actually access consumers and make sure that we're listening to them, make sure that we're giving them what they want and what they feel. Technology also plays an important role in terms of sales, in terms of how do we get our product out to consumers, how do we track where products are going, who is buying the product. So that becomes quite important. But at the end of the day, it is a basic necessity, bread, and also we're also very focused technology on our plant and our operations. A lot of our plant and operations are now automated, and it's very, very technology driven. So it's also good in one sense that we get more consistent product at good quality as well.
Okay. As we wrap up, Broadway's won the Bread Brand of the Year in the FMCG Consumer Awards 2023-2024. What would you say is the consumer promise that you have for those that showed up and voted for you and are constantly consuming your products? And even as you answer that, the last bit would be, what would be your take home for anyone who's watching this?
I think for us, we're in this position over 66 years because of being consistent and because of being having very good quality. That for us is utmost important. We make sure that every single loaf that's leaving the factory is to the best standard possible. If there are problems, we rectify them as quickly as possible. We're very transparent with everything, that in terms of ingredients, in terms of even just what we do on a day-to-day basis as a company. Extremely transparent. And I think people that have had our bread, the families that have had our bread, the generations within them will vouch for us. I mean, this award was a voted award. It wasn't something that was nominated. It was voted by people. So I think that speaks for itself. And for us, the promise is we will continue doing what we're doing and what we're good at, and keeping on listening to our consumers and making sure that we change where necessary, but keep things as consistent as possible.
All right. Thank you for your time, and we hope to see you again in the next year's awards.
Thank you very much.
All right.